Hello, this is Basics of Geometry, Segment and Angle Bisectors, and here we're given the midpoint of a segment, and we're given one endpoint, and we have to find the coordinates of the other endpoint. This is really a very, very difficult question. And it's very frustrating because we just did this one where they give us the two endpoints and we find the midpoint, and it was very straightforward. We just used the midpoint formulas. It followed along very logically, very similar to the way that the distance formula worked. And now this one becomes very, very difficult. And this formula is not in the book. You may want to write it down for your notes. See, this gives us this. See, when we figure this out, we get the x part of the midpoint. When we figure this part out here, we get the y part of the midpoint. And we really need this in order to solve this problem. So you should write that formula down. See, in our problem we have point M, which is the midpoint. That means this is the x part of the midpoint, and this is the y part of the midpoint. And then we have point R, which is the endpoint. Now you can make R point 1 or point 2. It really doesn't matter. But I made it 0.1, and that makes this x1 and this y1. If you made this 0.2, this would be x2 and y2. So continuing with this, we're going to use this formula. So x1 is -1. x2 is what we're looking for. See, x2 is the x-coordinate of the endpoint. And this equals x of the midpoint. Okay, so now working on this, I'll multiply both sides by 2, and I'll end up with -1 plus x2 equals 4. Now if I plus 1 to both sides, I get x2 equals 5. So the x-coordinate of the x part of the endpoint is 5. And now let's use this formula here, y1 plus y2 over 2 equals ymp to get the other one. So y1 is 7. So we'll have 7 plus y2 all over 2 equals the y of the midpoint, which is 4. Now I'll multiply both sides by 2 to get 7 plus y2 equals 8. And now when I minus 7 to both sides, I get y2 equals 1. So the coordinates of the endpoint are 5, 1. So let's see, we've got 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the midpoint. And we've got -1, 7. -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I figured out that the other endpoint is 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And it looks like it makes sense. You see, if they are in a straight line. If I see, I got the 3 there, the 2 there, and the 1 there, so I have figured it out correctly.